Welcome back to another episode of Goblin-Sighting D&D. I'm your DM, and these are my fellow adventurers. When last we left, we've had some technical difficulties with our cameras over the last couple sessions, so I'm not sure how much actually made it in, but in brief, we've been traveling around from Neverwinter, which, unlike what I said in the previous episode, that is not the place that the Wizards of the Coast said that you can find anything that would be water deep to the south, but we elected not to go down there retroactively. We then went up north, having finished off the dragon. We went on a caravan trip to from Neverwinter to Fandalin with mining supplies for the rebuilding mine. We then encountered Tybalt once again in Neverwinter, in Fandalin. Then, having heard of varying reports of dragon sightings in the area, we elected to begin helping the townmaster warn the countryside of the impending doom and gather some potentially useful magic items from the gnomes of Gnomengard. We have successfully warned and cleared out a mining excavation of a Temple of Dumathoin from a pair of dwarves that we helped. We then beat the living tar out of a bunch of orcs that attempted to take the excavation as their own. We then went into Gnomengard, where the king was mad from being almost killed by a mimic. We managed to find and slay the mimic, and we then were feasted and rested by the gnomes who housed us for the night in celebration of the king's rescue and the easing of his madness. So now, something on your neck. Having done that, you all have gotten all of your spell slots back, all of your hit points back. The staff and the wand alike will regain their hit points and their charges at dawn. By the way, I checked the Dungeon Master's Guide, and it doesn't have a limit on your wand of magic missiles being fired, as it does not have a charge limit. So
it's not 6? Or
well, according to the Dungeon Master's Guide here, in the magic items section, it describes the wand of magic missiles. There's a lot of magic items. Handles and ring, cloak, robe. Oh, here's a picture of the sending stones, by the way.
Oh, interesting.
These are, we each have, whoever has a sending stone has one of these two, so they come in pairs. That's an example carving. I'm just going to go with that because I don't have much of an imagination. I'm no artist.
I have one. Victor has it.
You had one of those. Victor has the other one of those. Coming up on the wands now. Nope, these are staffs. Here we go. Wand of magic missiles. This is what it looks like, by the way.
The third one down?
This one, the blue-headed one, yeah.
I like it.
So that's your wand of magic missiles. I'll see if I can find the staff of defense somewhere here, but for now, the wand of magic missiles has 7 charges. When holding it, you can use an action to expend 1 or more of its charges to cast the magic missile spell from it. For 1 charge, you cast the first level version of the spell. You can increase the spell slot level by 1 for each additional charge you expend. The wand gains 1d6 plus 1 expended charges daily at dawn. If you expend the wand's last charge, roll a d20. On a 1, the wand crumbles into ashes and it is destroyed. So there's no listed limit on how many charges you can expend from the wand of magic missiles, according to the Dungeon Master's Guide, which I personally take as the higher authority than whatever the starter kit says.
But if you get down, if you use all 7,
you roll a d20 and you have a 1 in 20 chance of destroying the wand. So what I'm saying is you can expend, when we were earlier saying, oh, you can't expend more than 3 charges,
At
that
one
was
time.
erroneous.
Gotcha.
That was in fact erroneous.
Okay.
You can theoretically expend up to 6 charges of the wand of magic missiles. We can calculate out how high of a spell level that brings it to. It's high.
Yeah, which might be worth it.
It might be worth it.
Charges would be a 8 D6s. I mean D4s.
Plus 8.
Plus 8.
Yes,
yeah,
I
yeah.
like
Like
it.
I said, my brain is
Yeah.
hurting.
Super.
Well,
I don't have that
Staff
many D4s, but
of
You've got
Python,
them.
Staff of the Magi, Staff of Frost, Staff of Fire, Staff. They don't have any.
really?
They don't appear to have the Staff of Defense in here.
Do they
do
go
they
with
have the
something
other
else?
one? The black
Oh, the Spider Staff? No. Those appear to be unique to the adventure that have been homebrewed, if you will, by Wizards of the Coast for their adventure.
Oh.
But he gets to keep it.
Yeah, it's just that I can't give you a picture of the red count of the one that matches.
Spider staff. Crystal staff.
Yeah,
I
it's,
realize.
it looks like a crystalline quarterstaff. So, as you proceed to the morning, you are rested, refreshed. You've got the different stuff that they gave you. This is Wednesday.
Today Wednesday?
It better be Wednesday.
Yes, Wednesday. Sorry, I'm just.
That's all right. That's all right. So. So, what do you guys want to do?
Well, let's see. We've done.
That was Abathor, by the way, not Dumathorn. Dumathorn was they got a mining from way back. Okay, sorry about that.
Yeah, that's right. So we've done what we came to do at Nomigard.
Who else do we have to warn?
We have a woman
Yes,
to grab to try to convince to come with us.
correct.
I'm thinking perhaps it would be best to go. Is
Sorry.
that the only thing we have left to do?
Until we go back to Fandalin, yeah, we picked up 3 opening quests to go to the Dwarvish excavation,
Yes.
hop over to Nomengard, hit Umbridge Hill on the way back,
Yes, so we
and
need
then
to go.
get to Fandalin.
And we need to take care of her.
So, as you ride out for
Like
Umbridge
his
Hill?
mode of control.
The coconut shells.
Yes, coconut shells it is. I am so down for that. Roll a performance check.
This is punishment.
I've
No,
got,
this is just me DMing it because
we've got-
this is me rolling with it because
we've got some various and sundry instruments over here. I should
Sure.
give them.
Oh, this is for the coconuts. This is for how well you play the coconuts.
I know.
11 plus performance.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ah, it's 10.
There's a minus
Oh
one.
my. Okay, so you get some funny looks from the rest of your party, but it is nonetheless an entertaining sound effect to your travels. Do you want to join in on this?
Sure. She'll probably be able to do it for a week.
15 plus 1 is 16.
Okay, yeah, you're also entertaining the party. It's not like you're trying to convince anyone that you're actually named. That those are actually the noises of the horses. That's just you two
Goofing
knocking
around.
a pair of strange, brown, hairy half shells together.
Found them in Nomengard.
Yeah.
It's odd, but I picked them
Okay.
up.
So, As-
They're not. They don't. No.
as you approach the Umbridge Hill area, built on the slope of Umbridge Hill is an old stone windmill surrounded by an iron fence. A large winged monster with a spiky tail is trying to knock down the windmill's front door. A woman appears on the second floor window, waves at you, and yells, "A little help!"
On the way.
Right.
Looks like you could use a lot of help.
Okay, do you guys want to fight or not fight?
Not sure what we mean right on
Roll,
by.
no, well, there's that option. By the
No,
way.
no, no, no. I don't think
No,
there's enough.
roll a, roll a wisdom check. Both.
Well, wisdom.
Straight wisdom check.
I have 9. No, I've got 5.
Oh, that's not good.
You
I've
said I
got
can't.
6. 16.
Okay. You recognize the creature as a manticore, which is intelligent and capable of speech. It can be negotiated with. However, if negotiations break down, it will fight.
I think we need to start speaking first.
Okay. Do you guys want to talk, or do you want?
What does it speak? Does it use common?
I assume
I
it
don't
speaks
talk.
common. I'm going to check this thing.
Might be wise.
I have people.
Yeah, it speaks common.
Does Elizabeth understand? Would she be comfortable talking to it? Negotiating, being
Sure.
well, she's going to be more diplomatic.
Well,
I'll have to talk
she's
with
our
her.
chief negotiator.
Yeah,
She's
yeah.
our
No,
diplomat.
that's fine. So she rides forward and yells, "Hey! Hey, stop that!" And Manticore kind of turns around and goes, "Why should I?" She goes, "What are you trying to do?" And he goes, "What does it look like I'm trying to do? I'm breaking this door down." And so Elizabeth so Elizabeth kind of rides a little closer and goes, "Look, what do you hope to gain from this?" "Well, for now, a meal would be nice. A place to stay would be even better." She goes, "Well, we can't help you on the ladder, but, what I've got here. Victor, party funds."
Do we have some of the meat that we killed not too long ago?
I'm going to go ahead and assume,
because it hasn't been that long.
yeah. So, what's the
We
consensus,
can
guys? You
offer it to
want
you.
to feed this thing or fight it?
Oh, feed it. I mean,
Alright.
if it's hungry. And if she,
So, let's say you give it 2 days worth of food.
absolutely.
As it flies away to the north, you see a second manticore joining it and following its flight path.
I feel better for not having killed it. Much better.
Don't relax too much. Don't relax too
I'm
much.
not
just yet.
relaxing. I just feel so much better. I mean, if it comes back and bites us, then we'll kill it. But well, I mean,
No, it's
Very
fine.
matter of fact.
Yes. So, as you are watching the manticore, you hear Finnan, who was keeping watch, and you scream, "Goblins!" I need everyone to
Enough
roll
done.
for initiative.
Goblin.
Okay.
15 plus
That is nice.
17. Okay, so I have a two.
Okay. So, we get the jump on them.
How many have we got?
How are they arrayed?
There are 12 goblins coming from. Let's see if I can pull a map here real fast. Not that. The other one. Push the button. X.
This one?
Okay. So, this is the area that's really important. Up here are a bunch of cannons. Great sight. Run, cat, run.
And is that the windmill there?
The windmill is over here. This is where the manticore was. It flew off that way.
Okay.
And you can see goblins just kind of strung out in a little, almost a line, as much as goblins get into a line. Just kind of staggered out in a little bit of
In
a
a
really,
line that
really
is
pathetic attempt at a
towards
skirmishing
us,
formation.
or
Laterally.
okay.
So
okay.
it's a really pathetic attempt at a skirmish formation.
So the... It's going to sound strange, but we've got a line that's fairly straight that I would have to take something down the line. I would need to be able to get to the head of it and fire the lightning bolts.
Yes, but if they see you running to their flank, they're probably not going to stay in and they're not in a perfectly straight line. They're almost a little bit staggered. It's not perfect anything. It's just kind of a bunch of goblins
How
running
close
around.
are they to each other lengthwise?
At least 5 feet apart.
There's how many?
12,
12, 60 feet.
at least, yes. You could theoretically drop a fireball on them. And that could work if you wanted to try that.
Well, I was trying to figure out if there was any way that I could make this short, but
Yeah,
I'm
you
gonna
can
guess
try a
Victor,
fireball.
Victor's probably getting upset when I keep making it so he can't fight.
Not really.
No,
He doesn't
no.
care.
Let's
He's
fireball.
a soldier first and foremost.
Right.
Not
That was
not like a trained Ibini war kind of soldier, but he recognizes the value of not getting poked with pointy objects. So
Well,
if you want to drop a fireball on them,
I'm trying to
he's
figure
like,
out.
be my guest, wizard.
Well, I might get the most. What's the width on that one? I read it down.
Somewhere in the neighborhood of 30 to 60 feet,
Right.
because it's a,
Oh,
if I'm not mistaken, it's a 30-foot radius circle.
Right, so if you send it right down the middle, kind of like bowling.
Okay. I'm just gonna use this because I can for now. But fireball is 40-foot
120
radius.
feet.
Okay, so it's a 40-foot total
Oh,
sphere of fire.
so I would drop it 20 feet into them. Because I certainly want to take out the lead guy first.
You understand that if it's you, they're running this way. Like
Yeah, so I'm
1,
gonna
2, 3,
drop
4, 5,
it,
6,
yeah.
7. I don't know who the lead guy, where the lead guy would be.
Let me,
Whatever you want to do.
so I'm going to drop it. It's 50. It's you said 40 feet, 30 feet.
40-foot
Radius.
diameter, yeah.
So if I drop it 4 people in, right on one of them, 4 in.
You stand a better than average chance of getting at least 4 of them in the radius. All right.
That's probably 5.
So yeah.
Let's see.
Oh.
So
Or
I've
if you
got
have
to
a radius
do.
on both sides, so if you're
This is
4
the
in, you
D.
have a chance of getting 4 to this side and 4 to this side. Yes?
It's a 20-foot radius, so
And
it's a
I
40-foot
need-
diameter.
Okay.
So,
So I need.
Okay, so we can probably take out 4.
How many?
Yeah.
And 20 feet is 4.
What funk.
20 feet
High
is
school geometry is actually coming back to haunt me.
But that would be 5, 10, 15, 20. That's 4 of them. 5, 10, 15, 20. That's another 4. 40-foot radius, 40-foot diameter.
They're not. They're 10. They're flat. There's like goblin, 5 feet, goblin, 5 feet, goblin, kind of things. They're between 5 and 10 feet apart.
Oh, okay. So we might not be exactly.
They're between a total line curve between 60 and 80 feet. So we'll just, for the sake of narration, we'll say they're about 4 feet. Yeah.
So it's. How many do I roll again?
No, 8. Sorry. Yeah, there's about 8 of them that you can go for. I roll for their dexterity saves.
And what do I roll? How many of these? I think it's
8d6.
8d6s, yeah.
Would you
I'm
like
gonna
to
roll
borrow
4
one of
and then
mine?
4.
No, that makes sense. That's very.
And it's 14 for your saving throw.
Oh, do
Or
I
your-
need
your-
to roll something
No,
for
what's your
that?
what's your difficulty
Should
plus?
be
It's
15.
15
Oh,
now?
oh,
15?
Yeah, it's 15.
Sounds good.
15.
Alright, so now yeah. That's the guy's left shoe. Put that over there. Can you it's on your left shoe, Dad.
I'll just roll those, yeah.
Okay. So 6 of them fail to save.
28.
Okay. Next time I'll let you roll your damage first.
Not waste all that time, right?
Okay.
How many did I take out?
8.
I got all of them?
Uh,
8 out of 12, but
goblins
twelve,
have
yeah.
are frail little creatures,
Oh.
and you burned them alive.
That only leaves 4 for everybody else to fight.
That's fine.
Fireball is...
Nasty. Nasty, nasty, nasty.
big weapon.
Got to cross off one of my 4s. Or D3s.
They, they take one look at you,
Uh-huh.
one look at the burned remains of their buddies, and turn tail and run. They just are all gone. All running for their lives. Do you guys want to chase them, or do you want to let them run?
Let them run. I think the dragon will probably get them. We have, well, or
Victor's a
still
little crestfallen,
well,
but he's like,
I don't want to split up. So, and we got
no,
this
that's
lady
fine.
to take
He's
care
like,
of.
yeah, yeah. I
This-
mean,
this
like,
about the lady.
he's more like, I wish they would have stood and fought.
Yeah.
But
I
Elizabeth's
worry
like,
about the lady.
Elizabeth just looks over him and is like, would you rather get shot with goblin arrows?
Yeah,
Just like,
exactly.
no.
Pokey devils.
He's just like, he's just looking at her, just like, no. She's like, then be grateful they ran, you nitwit. Alright, so,
Do you know what our lady's name is?
yes, you were told it was, Adabra Gwyn. And,
I'm going to assume our assistance was
she kind of pokes her
appreciated.
head out and is like, well, that was fancy. Elizabeth comes over and is like, we've come to ask you to return with us to Fandalin. Harbin Wester sent us. There is a dragon in the area, and we'd like you to come back to Fandalin where it's safe. And she's like, no thanks. I'm good where I am. But I will give you a note to Harbin, telling him that I'm all right, and for helping me with that nasty manticore, I will give you 1 potion of healing.
Very kind and generous.
Also, if you're ever in the area, I sell potions of healing and make them. If you are in need in the future, just come back and let me know.
How many do we have right now in the store?
Right now, in the party funds, we have 2 with the one that Adabra gave us just now.
I have 1.
I
And
don't think I
Each
have
of
any
us has
left.
1, right?
each of us should have
Oh,
one,
okay.
right? Unless you've used one since the rematch with Venom Fang.
Yep.
And Tybalt has just...
Tybalt has at least 1, maybe 2.
Okay. I couldn't remember what it was.
Because we had 6 potions of healing that we bought, so at his suggestion, we, admittedly rather sensibly, split them along the party.
I was
So-
just wondering, what is she
What
selling
is she
them for?
charging?
50 gold.
Do we
Pretty much
need
the
more?
going rate.
Do you want to get...
If someone's selling them for more than 50 gold, either supplies are low or they're trying to shice you.
So I'm just thinking if we had, so I have 1 plus the one that I'm carrying, so that I have 2. You have,
I have
Tybalt
1.
might have 2, so that's possibly 4. Plus each of us has, so then there's 4 others floating around someplace, so that's 8. I was just thinking, and she just gave us 1, so that's nice. So we have like 50%.
10 total if you count the party ones, because there's 2 in the party.
Okay, so we have more than 50% of extras in case we, okay. That's, I'm just trying to make
Okay.
sure we have, you
I
know,
just,
enough to float around.
never looked at healing potion.
No.
Will we be coming back this way on our way to our next event? Of course,
Not strictly
they're
speaking, but
available
if
in
you...
Fandalin, right?
No. They're not available in Fandalin. If you... I mean, the last time you tried to buy one in Fandalin, you were directed to Adabra.
Okay. So perhaps we ought to have 2 each.
2 each?
And just buy an
Okay.
additional 2. I agree with Ron here that it's not that you can
Never
never
look
have
at
too
potion
many. Yeah,
stopper.
Yeah, you can never have, it's not that you can never have too many, but, you know, a little extra is not a bad thing. And I appreciate the gift. Yes. but not particularly. That's
Okay.
I just have to go
You
take
can
it
go
one.
up and take care of that while we're squaring away healing potions, and then we can just get back to Fandala
Can you get by me
and figure
or
out
you
the.
do?
yeah.
We can figure out the. Do you need that?
I don't need to move. I just need to.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we can figure out the resolution of our payments for the various items we've acquired. Do you want me to move the table out?
Just a bit. Oh, perfect. Thank you.
This is.
My toe is just.
Got this, I don't know what that is.
The manuals. I need my trilogy
I
up
can
against
dim a
the.
little bit more.
Nope, you're good. I just have to move this
Alright.
back.
Just a little back so they don't step on my manuals again.
Yep.
There we go. Okay. So while
Joe may
she's
be
gone,
sleeping.
we can figure out. You get an extra healing potion and knock off 50 gold, unless you want to pay out of the party funds, which is perfectly fine.
Let's see what's on here. It's
Yep.
50 gold.
50 gold.
You know, when we started,
That was
50
so much.
50 gold, I was never going to be able to buy one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, it's 22.35 gold. So,
Yeah. Yeah. I just remember looking back on some of the early videos where we were just like, oh my gosh, 50 gold for a healing potion. Never use it. And now we're like, yeah, let's just pick up 5 extra. So, for that.
Yeah, that's one of the things that makes me want to get more is that we have been in situations where we've gone, do we really want to use a healing potion? Can he save himself some other way without us wasting? Yeah, it's saving a comrade. We ought to be able to do that.
Yeah, yeah. There is another method of in-combat healing that I'm going to talk to Mom and you about when we get back, but I'll talk to you about it now as well. In the DM's guide, they talk about a method called Healing Surge, which is kind of like Second Wind on a fighter, but you basically take an action to roll a hit dice in combat to heal yourself. And then you've expended a hit dice, but you're back up to X number of hit points. If you guys want to do that, well and good. It's another way of healing yourself in combat. But I personally, as a DM, have no issue with.
Well, I was just thinking that depending on how intense the fighting is, I would rather have the option of doing
I'm not saying don't use the healing potion. I'm just saying, in addition to, for you, mind cure wounds and healing word from the cleric, and healing potions, you can theoretically use your hit dice to heal yourself, which you gain back 50% of your hit dice at the end of every long rest. So, typically during a short rest is when you would use hit dice, but if you guys want to, in combat, use a healing surge, you can use your hit dice if you so desire. It's 2 for Victor. Knock off his stuff. Hold. This is not the place to use a platinum piece.
What's that?
I said this is not the place to use a platinum piece.
No. Nice lady. I wonder why she didn't want to come. What?
I said, holy smite. Elizabeth, Victor, no, Thenin. Thenin has 1,212 gold pieces right now. After he purchased a healing potion.
I'm trying to figure out how I got 2,000.
You didn't spend money. You got the same amount of stuff as the rest of us, but you
And
didn't.
I also had that initially. I was getting all the gold because I was the one that was. We weren't dividing things up evenly when we first started.
We divided the treasure, yeah. We just didn't
Oh.
divide the XP.
How much does he have?
1,212. Okay.
I'm thinking that it may only be 1,000. I'm going to cut back
Okay.
because I could have written down a number that I couldn't read, which happens a lot.
Hmm.
Oh, that's good. No wonder I didn't write that. So I've only got 1,185.
Oh no. However will you survive? Take Dragon Guard out of the party supplies and put it on Victor.
That's not like the phone.
Who's Mom's?
Oh, it's down here? It just says incoming. 1228.
Okay. So, with that, party sets out back to Finland.
Perhaps I shouldn't use the fireball as often to initiate things because it's causing you to have to come up with more adventure.
Not really. If you have a method of expedient, hello ladies. If you have a method of expediently dispensing with foes, do it. Saves us time, saves the party damage, and it's
Saves
one.
healing spells.
It saves healing spells. It's one third level spell that sorely tests the morale of an attacking force.
Yeah.
So, especially something like goblins, they're not particularly prone to charging into a suicide mission. And once they figure out there's a spellcaster out there who's shooting fireballs at them, that just incinerated 75% of their attacking force, they're not liable to stand and fight. So, real fast, Mom, there is a alternate method of healing in combat called Healing Surge, where you can roll a hit dice for an action. If you guys want to use that in addition to healing potions, second wind for fighters, and healing spells, feel free if not.
So it doesn't take a spell,
Nope, it takes an action.
an action. So if I'm in the middle of something, but so does the spell,
Yes,
and this doesn't take a.
exactly. And it
Okay.
works for everyone. Anyone who is injured in combat, you, Dad, any of my three people,
Oh, okay.
can take one of their own hit dice and expend one for an action
I see.
to heal themselves.
Excellent.
Granted, hit dice will not return until after a long rest, and that's only 50% of your hit dice. But if it means the difference between living and dying,
Right.
it's something to consider.
Yeah.
Especially if
Yeah.
a player is isolated,
Yeah.
out of reach of, say, cure wounds, or out of sight for healing work,
Right.
and doesn't want to expend an expensive healing potion on themselves. Alright, so you are back in Fandalin, and you, I assume, go to the Town Master's Hall.
Oh yes. And we have the note. Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Alright. So, as you arrive back in Vandalen, you are heading to the townmaster's house for his shopping something stuff. And he gives you 50 gold pieces. As they tell you that, as they tell them that the excavation quest has been completed, you see this series of gold coins just sliding out from under the door, equaling 50 gold pieces promised for the dwarven excavation warning. Then Liz is like, by the way, we also did go to Nomengard. Oh, really? What did you get from Nomengard? Anything interesting?
Well, I have a wand of pyrotechnics.
Ah, and?
And?
Sunderland, is that what we got? I can't remember what we got there. Huh? Oh. I got a hat. I've got the wizard's hat.
You hear a moment of silence on the other side, and he goes, I'll pay you 50 gold pieces for it.
No,
Must
thank
be
you.
worth significantly more.
Fair enough. And anything else? Any other business to conclude? They're just like, yeah, we got the midwife's note. He kind of pokes it into the door. And he goes, thank you. Good. And 25 more gold pieces are slid out under the door. So you now have 75 gold pieces to divide among the party or place in the party funds at your discretion.
How much do we have in the party funds? We just lost
Right now, 5 copper pieces, 2 silver pieces, 470 gold pieces, 5 diamonds, and a pendant of Avatar.
Because we keep spending things on.
Well, that's true. We do keep spending things on it.
Alright, so 400, 500, 45. So 545 gold pieces in the party funds now.
Excellent.
That is 1 pound, so 10 pounds of extra weight. I'm just going to go ahead and say that there's a donkey, or no, it's the draft horse. So
Well,
it's
I
at-
still have my donkey.
well, no, there's a party draft horse. I forgot that.
Oh, that's
Like,
right.
got
I
it.
forgot that too. Yes.
So it's at 45
And
pounds.
carry the town on its back.
540 pounds, yeah. So it's got 45 out of 540 pounds of supplies.
Does it even notice it?
It's mostly coin.
Yeah.
In some discreet saddlebags.
Yeah.
Purchased with party funds.
Of course.
The horse was purchased with party funds,
Right.
the saddlebags, the pack saddle, the feed for the horse, all purchased with party funds.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's appropriate.
So,
That'd be a hard-working horse.
as
Have we
you...
named it?
Do we need to replenish any supplies for the horses or that?
I'll say that you have would probably be a good idea to pick up some extra feed just in case, because yes, there are areas that are good grazing grounds.
Have we used any of our feed?
Not, well, maybe one at either, maybe, well, 2 days total. What's wrong? Call it 2 days total feed supplies. Alright, let's see.
We don't have how many rations did we have roughly the same?
A lot.
Hmm?
A lot.
I'm trying to find, I didn't write that one down separately.
I've got down 10 days fodder.
So we ought to,
Drop that down to 8.
only we're gonna buy 2, right?
Yeah, it's 5 copper pieces per day and 10 pounds of feed per day.
So we're gonna take it up to 10. Go back up to 10.
Drop out 10 copper pieces.
Yes, and I'm going to say that if you want, you can store it on the pack animal,
Okay.
and we'll see if the drafters can take it.
Okay.
Because currently he's got 495 pounds of weight that he's just playing with as empty,
I'm gonna give the
which
horses.
is 49 days
How
worth
many
of supply
copies?
of feed.
How many copies?
5.
So that's 10 total.
So I'm thinking, my donkey's carrying his own fodder, so it's horse
Okay.
fodder that the
Yeah.
draft horse is carrying.
For the riding animal, for the
Right.
riding mounts.
Right, so I'm thinking that would be, there's 5 of them, right?
4 technically,
right,
if you
because
want to
there's
count the dire wolf.
There will doesn't count with, because he's not
Dire
gonna
wolf
eat
is
that.
fodder
So
that
there's
he eats.
4, so it's 400 pounds, so he should have no difficulty, plus his own,
Yeah.
which would be 500 pounds. You cannot carry that, right?
No.
Let's see.
See what I can drop 5 pounds off of. The meat.
So he has
Move the meat
carried-
on one of the donkeys.
Okay. Donkey Boy is still carrying, I think Donkey Boy is still carrying cooked stuff and all that kind of jazz. I'm not sure he has a ton of extra weight.
Any one of the other. I'll probably
How
divide it
much
among
is the donkey weigh? How much is it weigh?
420 pounds that he can carry. I think Donkey Boy's getting close.
Yeah. I'll do it on one of the other animals. But interim, I'm going to say he's at 40. He's at 540 pounds right now.
Which is max.
Which is about max.
We'll call him Max.
All right. Okay. All right. And most of the time, it won't be necessary to use the feed because we'll be in grasslands or woodlands or somewhere that they can eat.
Yeah.
But in areas like the Dwarven like the Abathor excavation or Nomengard, where fodder is questionable,
Yeah.
we'll have to resort to feed from the feed. With that in mind, anytime at this point we will have to drop at something if we want to put any more party coin on it.
Or we can divide it up.
Yep. So, as you returned to town, you all noticed that 3 more quests had been posted. Yep. Let's see if I can grab it out of somewhere. I think it's around here somewhere. Dice. Cards. Healing. Mission points. Mission card. Here we go. Oh, look. That's where it went. This should be it.
So what are the 2 quests?
3.
Three. Sorry. There we go. So, do you guys have the other quest cards that I gave you? Did I give you the quest cards?
Give me this. This is the one.
No, I mean, like this.
I've got a magic item, and magic item,
Okay. No sweat. So, okay. So what you see is orcs have attacked Butterskull Ranch, 5 miles east of Coneyberry along the Tribor Trail. Travel there with haste, assess the damage, and help any way you can. Alphonse Calazorn, the ranch owner, is a retired sheriff who can reward you for your efforts. If he's dead, return to Townmaster Harbin Wester with proof of Calazorn's demise to receive a reward of 100 gold pieces. You accept the quest?
Accept the quest, absolutely.
Well, we've
Alright.
got.
What?
Oh, we can accept all three.
You can accept or decline any of the quests. In the mountains to a gold mine lies 15 miles northeast of Fandalin. The new overseer, Don John Raskin, just made a trip from Neverwinter to Fandalin and needs to be escorted to the mine. There's no telling what dangers lie between here and there. Once you deliver Raskin safe and sound, return to Timemaster Harbin Wester to collect a reward of 100 gold pieces.
Sounds good.
Take
But
it.
is he, can he wait for us to finish with Butterskull Ranch?
This can be done in any order you so desire.
Okay, alright.
Then, deep in Neverwinter Wood, along the river that flows west toward Neverwinter, is a logging camp. Every 2 months, Fandalin delivers fresh supplies to the camp, which is run by the half-brother of Fandalin's townmaster, Harbin Wester. Bartham, the local provisioner, has prepared a new delivery. He needs someone to bear the supplies safe to camp. Return to Harbin Wester with a notice of delivery signed by his half-brother, Tibor Wester, to claim your reward of 100 gold
These
pieces.
are good. These are good. And so we would be leaving from Fandalin to
All
take-
3 of these are at least originating likely in Fandalin. That one takes you to the woods, one of them takes you to the mountains to a gold mine, and one of them takes you along the Tribor Trail east of Coneyberry to Butterskull Ranch.
It feels to me like the Butterskull Ranch is
Personally, the Butterskull Ranch is the most
priority.
urgent.
Well, there's the possibility of him being dead,
Yes.
and I'd rather not have him be dead if
Yes.
he moves for being dead.
Right.
Yes.
So I think
That one
we need to-
appears to have a timetable.
Yes.
So,
And
is there anything very quickly that you would like to grab or check in with? Any of your contacts you want to check in with before you head out?
well, one thing we might want to do is
It's just not.
we may want to get back up to full strength.
We are.
I
We had a
used
full
one.
rest of the, just now.
Just now you expended a fireball.
Yeah. Do
Um,
we want to have 2 fireballs going out?
let me double check something real fast. Can I? Yeah. What is your thing again? You're a wizard. You're a wizard, Harry. Arcane Recovery. You're a 5th level wizard. So you can get up to 3 levels worth of spell slots back when you finish a short rest.
If we're having a long rest is 4 hours.
Yes.
So
And
short
the short
rest
rest is about 30 minutes.
Well, he's been lying down
So
while
for
we've
30
been
minutes
walking
of
around town.
if you take 30
picking
minutes
up
of
quests.
meditation while you guys are, while we're dealing with Harbin Wester, collecting the money and
Yeah.
collecting your quests,
Yes.
we can come back to wherever you've parked yourself to go into a trance.
Yes.
And then when you come out of it, you'll be standing around in a circle, waiting, watching you. And you will have a 3rd level spell slot recovery.
You do the trance with one eye open.
No, you don't. No, you
You
don't.
can, but you'd have to roll a perception check with disadvantage to actually see anything. Finnan just does it
Yeah.
out of habit. He doesn't it improves his passive perception a little bit, but it doesn't really do much. So,
Very good.
with that, and to assume then that you all want to head for
Butterskull Ranch.
Butterskull Ranch it is. So.
We've
So
got
I'm
3
assuming you follow the
quests.
Tribord Trail.
Yeah.
Just a little dotted line on the map.
Here,
Yep.
the little dotted line.
Okay, so it's
This?
about
Yeah.
60 miles to Butterskull.
What's the horses travel?
Horses.
40 bucks a day. 40 miles a day.
40 bucks a day.
Okay.
Let's
See if we're ready
go
here.
fast here. A riding or warhorse has a 60-foot movement. A draft horse or a mule or donkey has a 40-foot. speed. So we would be traveling at 40 feet per turn.
6 seconds.
So that would be 40 feet a minute. 400 feet a minute. Okay, that's fast. 30 miles a day, so yeah, about 2 days.
Okay. All right.
And this is the one that we don't know what kind of dangers we will encounter on the way there, or is that the other quest? I mean, we always don't, but one said that.
You can because it's the Tribord Trail, if you guys want to encounter something along the way, we can encounter something. Otherwise, for narrative purposes, we can just book you through it. And do you guys want to eat rations because we're moving, or do you want to stop and try and hunt? It will slow you down.
I think we should look at that.
Okay.
Rations.
Knock 2 days worth of rations off your supplies. I'll have everyone make a survival check really fast with disadvantage.
We've got 5 days rations, right?
Weak, sorry. Victor has 40.
Okay, then I didn't write down the right notes.
I have 16 plus my 4, which is 20.
Okay.
What am I checking?
Survival check with disadvantage.
With disadvantage.
Correct.
Oh, sorry, that's right. Disadvantage, that makes me have 17. Sorry,
Not a good issue.
I have to roll twice, right?
Yeah, take the lower.
Well, I've got 4. Plus whatever.
Cumulative rolls mean that no matter, even with Liz, this fairly low roll, everyone else is able to help her. You find water along the way when you make camp for the night.
Oh,
Okay.
You're making cold camp, so there's not much time
Right.
to check for water, but you're able to find sufficient water. You don't have to expend your water skills.
Okay, good.
Disadvantage because you guys are booking.
Right.
Oh.
Making cold camps and sleeping the absolute minimum necessary,
Yeah.
and not
Stop
sticking-
bothering with the tent.
Not really bothering with the tent, just kind of huddling together with bedrolls, and then getting up at the crack of dawn and settling up and moving out. But you are able to find water at each campsite. So that's 2 days of rations. The horses are fine with regards to food and water. Yeah, we don't need to knock off any food and water off of that.
Max would prefer if we did, but
As long as he's not overweight,
Yeah.
he's like definitely feeling the load, but he's not like reduced to 0 and taking points of exhaustion. So, second day, you arrive. What in the Sam Hill Finn? Finn's got 60 days of rations on his donkey.
he never wants to run out.
What was I thinking?
Does Finn just eat half rations all the time, and so they're
No, he just bought a crazy amount of rations when we all were buying rations. And then he just hasn't used them because we've been good hunting.
Right.
Oh my
It's
word.
So funny.
Okay. So. On the about mid-afternoon on the second day, as you approach Coneybury, the abandoned town of Coneybury is eerily silent except for the whistling of the winds that blows through the settlement's burned and crumbled down structures. This is marginally familiar to all of you as you have been there once before when you were seeking the Banshee Agatha.
Right. But it didn't look like this.
It did look pretty much the
Oh,
same.
the same. Okay.
Except you guys were actually looking through the town this time instead of just moving through it. So as you make your way around the ruins, you spot 3 unsaddled riding horses grazing near an old well. You never make a perception check.
That one.
19. You nat 1? 19.
Nice cows.
Well,
Okay, you recognize a brand of BAK on the horse's flank
oh, hey, there we go.
for Big Al Calzorn.
Ah.
Do you guys wish to approach the horses or just leave them alone?
We could trek them along with us. So we can try to. If they're not saddled, but they probably still have a bridle on. And we
You
just
could bareback and bridle as if you wanted to ride them.
No, I was just trying to get them to come with us.
Oh. An animal handling check?
A what?
Animal handling check if you want to help.
I mean, they're his. We're going to his ranch. We might as well try and get him back to him.
I will help.
15 plus 4 is 19.
Okay. You're able to approach the horses and they're not startled by your approach. They don't run. You're able to convince them to hold still while you get a rope around them. And then you just tie them into the pack train.
Yeah, sounds good.
So, in a field about halfway between, about 2.5 miles south of Coneybury, you find a cow in a field about 500 feet off the tribal trail,
Well, he had really
wearing
good
a
vision.
towel around her neck. Do you want to approach or ride up?
Let's approach.
Okay. You spot a brand, BAK. Do you want to try to do something with her?
Yeah, we should try to.
Try to.
Okay.
Will she slow us down too much? We're not that far.
Cows. Let me check the player. See if it's in the monster manual.
How far away are we from the house, you know?
About 2 miles, 2.5 miles.
Yeah, slowing us down too much is not going to do that.
Cows. Check that. Okay. Constriction. Cows.
They could probably go about as fast as a donkey for 2 miles,
Probably.
I guess.
Yeah. Let's see if they got one, two. List.
16 plus 4 this time.
Oh, they got it in here. Great, thanks.
Do what?
They got it in here.
Oh, good.
Cow. 30-foot speed.
Yeah.
So it's about 10 feet slower than the donkey.
Is it? Handling. Oh, I get a +3, so I have 11.
Okay.
I have 20, but not a nat 20.
That's fine. So she willingly follows you. She's kind
Come along, bossy.
and just follows you.
She doesn't even need to be haltered.
She's just following
Fall
you.
in line.
Yep. I'm assuming you gave her something nice to eat.
Donkey
That's
boy
what
does
made
not
her-
mind sharing.
All right. So Butterskull Ranch occupies a large plot of land on the north side of the Tribor Trail, nestled between two hills. Beyond a ramshackle wooden fence stand cornfields, an apple orchard, gardens, and pasture land. A path breaks off from the trail to lead to a 2-story farmhouse next to a pond. West of the farmhouse are the charred remains of the barn and a smithy that have been burned to the ground. Pigs wander aimlessly around the fields, garden, and orchard. Between the farmhouse and the gutted barn lie the scattered corpses of 2 orcs and 5 humans, swarming with flies. Why am I putting this away? I need this.
Yeah. Do we need to identify? Would we know? Yeah, if we saw him.
Probably not, but they don't look well enough dressed to be a ranch owner. They look more like farmhands. The way they're dressed, they're very like worn and patched clothing, like solid mud-caked boots.
So it was orcs that attacked.
Probably that's what the report says. Yes.
And you've got some dead ones there.
Yes. So. So what do you guys want to do?
We need to find Alphonse.
All right.
Knock on the door. Chances of... I don't know. What should we do, guys?
Initially, do we want to get more information by doing a perception check?
You can make the attempt if you so desire.
17
I'll tell you, if it weren't for...
plus 4, so I've got 21. Oh, we're gonna see a house. And burning down barn. Burning down barn.
let's see. Perception.
Oi, kitty.
Oh, I have all of...
Eating.
She's after
She's
food.
eating food.
She got into it.
She got a whole rabbit today. She really
I don't know.
You don't need
Alright.
to eat.
See if I can grab that.
I'll see it's right. It's when it's gotten fresh food.
Okay. So this is a general outline. So you guys approached from here. Came in here. And go ahead and assume it's the main house. And somewhere in this area are the corpses.
I think we should go to the main house.
Okay. So, do you guys want to just walk up, or do you want to stealth up, or what do you want to do? Okay. Go ahead and make a
is my
stealth check.
perception check not necessary?
It's really not much to see, aside from the fact that the flies are big and
So stealth of 14.
green. With disadvantage?
11.
With disadvantage?
You have chain out, yeah.
Cutie, what is with you?
She's
13.
11.
So what? Is this why you're puking, cat?
Is that okay?
Yeah.
She should not be eating that food. She's feeling back up all the time.
What
She
am I
had a
supposed to
whole
do?
rabbit today.
Anyway, that is a 20 from Victor. 9 from Elizabeth. And a 14 from Minute.
Not 11.
Alright. Okay. Let me double check something. Woo. Fast here. Okay. Okay. You don't appear to be noticed as you approach. You also, on the perception, you did hear some faint noises from inside. The muffled noises would be better description. And yelling and some muffled thunking noises from inside the house. Not like fighting, but like
Tied up.
something.
Trying to get free.
Not really, just like it didn't sound like it was gagged. It was like muffled because of the outside of the house. You heard some guttural shouting, growling noises from inside the house.
I don't think Big Al is going to go.
Are we doing chickens before or after we eat this?
Let's go to the house. They're fine for right now. I got
All right.
this.
Do you want me to stop?
Um,
So as you approach and enter, do you go in from the front or the back?
I think, unless we think that there's some dangerous beings in there, it is more polite to enter somebody's abode from the front, but it might want to just be a couple of us go up to the front door.
and
And we
we're going
had
to enter, right?
Huh?
Did you hear the growling that was going on?
I thought, okay, then there's probably somebody, then we want to, maybe we want to go into two different directions.
Okay.
Have, split the party, we've got 5, put 2 on the front door and 3 on the back.
Okay. How do you want to split? Any thoughts?
Yeah. Victor was in front, the rest of us going in the back.
Sounds good.
Who's in the front?
Victor and Elizabeth at the front door.
Because if she can speak to someone, but if not,
And Victor's like, okay, we'll go in loud, you guys go in quiet.
Yeah, gotcha.
We're gonna basically kick the door in and start hacking anything that moves if it's not human. And then while we're causing a ruckus at the front door, then you guys sneak into the back door and see what you can do. So they're like basically, go to the back door, count to 30, and then as soon as you hear us go in, count to 10. Like as soon as you hear us go in, count to 10, and then go. So they enter, and they break off to the front part of the house. You guys go to the back. Right. that's stupid. Okay. So you guys hear them. I mean, you guys wait for a few minutes in silence, and you suddenly hear a rending as the front door gets smashed in, followed by yelling and guttural shouts inside. Do any of you, what language do you guys speak in? Okay.
I have, again, common, elfish, draconic, dwarfish, and goblin.
Okay. So you don't recognize the noises coming from inside. You've heard them before. You recognize it. You don't understand the words, but you do recognize it as orcish.
Okay.
Because you guys have heard orcish
Yes.
being yelled before.
Yes.
So
So we got to 10.
as you walk, as you enter the back door, it is not locked. It is a small room with a narrow staircase heading up to the doorway, and it's not even like really a door; it's more just an entryway leading into a small, narrow hallway with a door, and then a narrow breezeway almost to your left, leading away from the door with no entrances available, and then a door in front of you. Inside, you can hear the muffled sounds of Victor yelling. Combat erupting from the inside.
So we need to open up the
So
door.
you enter. All right. So inside,
We'll let them have all the fun.
you find yourselves in a foyer with Victor and Elizabeth currently duking it out against 4 orcs. You guys, roll to join the initiative.
16 plus
Initiative?
Yes.
21.
16 minus
Okay.
1. So 15.
So, Victor and Elizabeth did manage to make it above the orcs by a long shot, so I'm going to say that they got 2 rounds of combat before you arrived. And as you arrived, in the end of the orcs round. So I'm just going to really quickly resolve their
Okay.
combat because they had 10 seconds of
Right.
you guys not being there
Right.
to resolve conflict real fast.
So they beat him.
So, just take Victor's taken 15 points of damage. And Elizabeth has taken 5 points of damage. Right.
What's taking any damage yet?
Almost. Yeah, you see that hang on. Really fast while I roll that last points of combat. Six. Okay. You see that 2 of the orcs are down, and one of them is at very, very low. He's hurting bad. He's obviously taking some heavy slashes and stabs to the torso and the legs. He's bleeding heavily, trying to get to a position of advantage as you open the door. He's right there. Who do you want to go first?
We've got Finn and me and you. He's right there. Well, if I've got Hugh, why don't I just slash him?
Okay,
Hugh.
roll for an attack.
Hugh, it's +1, not 5, +5 attack bonus. Okay. Well, it's a good thing. 6 + 5 is 11.
That does not hit. He sees you coming and just barely manages to parry this on. You slash him and he goes ting! Alright, so do you want to go next or do you want Finny to go next?
I can do this.
Okay, go ahead.
And I'm going to use both staffs. I'm allowed to use one with each.
You can use one staff with either one hand or 2. And I believe you can only apply your ability modifiers to one of the attacks. So one of them will be d20 plus your ability modifiers, and then the same for the attack. The other one will be just the straight dice. So for example, if you were to attack with the Staff of Defense and the Spider Staff, and you were likely to put your ability scores on the Spider Staff, then you would have d20 plus whatever, plus your strength of +4, which it is actually +4. I misrepresented that when I was checking earlier. 19, strength score of 19 only gives you +4, not +5.
Well, I've got the
right, the Gauntlets of Overpower give you 19 strength. They do not give you a +5, they give you a +4 for 19.
Okay.
So if you want to adjust that. And then that would be d20 +4 for your Staff of Defense attack. And then d6 +4. Well, it'd be +6 for your attack for the Staff of Defense, +7 for your proficiency modifier. And then it would be for the Spider Staff, it would only be the d20 for the attack, and then only the d6 plus d7 plus the poison attack.
You understand?
I'm trying to find the strength.
Up top? Not all the way to the top, it's over on the left, the big box column.
Yes, here, oh, strength.
Yes.
And I've got 19 there, and it should be +1.
+4, not +5.
Okay.
Is it +4?
I don't know. I've got +5.
It should be +4. And then +4 for any of your strength-based ability checks. We'll go to that when we deal with it. Cross that bridge when we get there.
So I need to roll for the...
So what you want to do is you can apply your +4 plus your proficiency bonus to only one.
Yeah, and that would be
He
the
gets
one
to
that's
hit.
going to have the one that has both bludgeon and poison, right?
The spider staff? Okay.
Yeah.
You're going to apply your ability scores to spider staff.
Yeah.
The staff of defense will be straight dice, no ability scores.
+4, 14.
So 17 to hit, that will hit. Go ahead and roll damage. That's a d6 plus 4.
How about a 6?
Okay. And then for your staff, spider staff, you roll an extra d6 for poison.
Oh. 3.
Okay, so that's a total of 13 damage to the orc, and it drops. You just caved in its head.
So we're down to 1 orc.
And you
Yes.
still have a staff attack.
And you still have the staff of defense, but you just roll a d20 to attack with. No additions.
7.
No. It manages to knock it aside. The other orc sees you coming as you step over the body of its fallen comrade and just kind of spins around and goes on
I thought
guard.
it was down.
Eh,
I thought it was down.
It's dead.
I thought there was 2 down.
There's now 3 down. Now that he's caved in its head with the spider staff. So there were 2 down from Victor and Elizabeth. One of them was badly wounded with its back to the door. And then Rangir stepped through and smashed its head in with the spider staff. And then as he went to attack the other one, it managed to see him turn slightly, get on guard, deflect the staff attack with its axe.
Do your stuff, then.
Alright, Finnan is going to decide that these are way too close quarters for a way too close for a bow attack, so he's going to use his short sword to attempt to shanky shank the orc. And he will deal 9, I think, 8 points of damage. Check that fast. Yep. 8 points of damage to the orc. So he runs up behind and just stabs it right in the back of the leg. Okay. So that brings us to the orc's turn. It is going to attempt to attack Elizabeth. She's closest. And that will not hit. As the axe swings out and she just reaches under with the butt of her axe and deflects the haft up and over her head, while slightly dropping her own center of gravity to allow the axe to go over her head, where it kind of glances off the wall. So
You made a strategic error in putting this with him.
Always a bad choice.
So-
Always.
I realize that's something that our enemies are always going to do, but it.
this is why I'm considering multi-classing her barbarian, because of this kind of stuff.
Right. Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong, it'd be fun to take her all the way as a fighter just to see what happens, but I'd also want to see what a barbarian Elizabeth would look
Yeah,
like.
I think that would be fun.
Alright, so that brings us to top of the round. Who wants to go first?
Well, I'll go again.
All right.
I'll hit who's
So
closest.
I don't know if you can actually reach it with a melee weapon, but you can theoretically hit it with a ranged weapon at this point, because it has moved at least 5 or 10 feet to go after Elizabeth.
How much? But how far away is it from them?
It's a tricky question. We'll just go ahead and say that. It's maybe 10, 15 feet away from them.
Like how far can she move as her initial movement?
She can move up to 30 feet.
That's my action now, right?
No, that's your movement.
So she can move
You
close
could move
enough to hit.
closer,
But then
and
I'm
that would
in
be
position.
you would be completely surrounding at this
Right.
point, because Victor and Elizabeth are on this side,
Right.
the orc is here, and Finnan is right on its flank. So you would be moving to basically finish boxing it in
So
against
she's
the wall.
she's
Okay.
far enough
Do you want to do that, or do you want to just snipe at it from where you're at? Which either one is cool. I don't
Yeah.
care.
I think I'm better off staying back
Okay.
and trying to stay conscious
All right.
and sniping at it. So
I
I'm gonna use
really
my-
don't think that a orc is going to render you unconscious with 2 5th level fighters on its butt. However, if you want to stay back and spellcast, that is also fine.
I think
Alternatively, you can use your crossbow if you feel that
I was
desire.
thinking about crossbow deals.
It's equal damage,
Yeah.
but one is the onus is on them to dodge,
Right.
the other is the onus is on you to hit.
Yeah, I'd rather do one bay.
Alright, so you cast Sacred Flame, and I'll go ahead and roll damage. The orc is distracted by the short sword in its thigh, and the great axe in its what? Okay. You just kind of sizzle across the back of its head, and you hear like a and this howl in orcish. And you're not really sure what it said, but it was definitely hurting. Like it was more of a shock than pain.
Yeah.
That moment, like when you stick your hand in an outline.
Yeah.
I'll do a what is that?
Incidentally, Dad,
Huh?
for future reference with the shocking grasp cantrip, there is a really nasty little side piece to that where you can, if you successfully cast shocking grasp and on a hit the target takes 1d8 lightning damage and it cannot take reactions until the start of its next turn.
So it's kind of frozen.
It's not frozen, but it can't take an attack of opportunity, for example.
Oh.
So if you moved past or out of its range after it had been shocking grasped, it can't take an attack of opportunity against you.
That's
Alternatively, if it's a wizard and it has shield as one of its spells, it can't use shield if you target it. Just something
Yeah.
to keep in mind in the future. It's not going to be useful for this close range brawl because nobody's moving out of the attack range.
I'm still far enough away to use other stuff. Somebody use firebolt.
Firebolt, sounds good. Roll an attack. That is it.
Plus 6 or something.
That's it. Go ahead and roll d10 damage. The next round or one that is right next to your one. Yep, that's it.
Three.
Three? Alright. Well, you hit it, and you burn one of its ears off. And now we got the other two.
Well, you've got 3. Spending 2.
We'll come to him if it's still alive. So that is a miss. And first attack with Victor. Hit. 15 points of damage, and Victor just sticks it in the throat and just rips his sword out the front. It just falls flat on its face. Just
At least that time Victor did the mess on it.
oh no, he's off to the
Oh,
side.
okay, cool.
Nobody. Oh wait, no, you stayed away. So
I
you were
did,
out,
yes.
out of
I
the area.
see.
It would have planted right on top of you. You had a dexterity saving throw.
Yeah, nasty, nasty.
All right, so
There's a reason I stayed there. It's the new clothes.
yeah, we'll leave that. So with that, let's see if I can bring the next round of maps up here on the phone.
You need to look around to find the family. With the owner.
Okay. So here's where we're at. Right here. You guys came in here. Now you're here. There are stairs leading up there. Leading to the second level. There's this room here. And you see a door here. So you see a door ahead of you, and a door to your relative left.
Yeah, I go explore.
Which door do you want to go through first?
not knowing which is which because we don't know what's on the other side of the wall,
Thank you.
let's just take the first door.
Door to the left.
Yeah.
Okay. So, as you proceed inside,
Oops.
mm, alright. Okay. So theoretically, that should not have happened that way. Supposedly, you're supposed to go to the front door, which goes into this area that we just walked into. So technically, you guys would have walked into the doors. They do, but we'll come where we all went for back. Because that's the front door leads into this next room.
Okay. Oh, I see.
I didn't read the map correctly.
Oh, okay, alright.
So basically,
So we walked through a wall or something?
no, we just we kind of went through it. Like theoretically, right here, this is the front door right here,
Oh,
and this is the back door.
Oh.
alright,
So technically, Victor and Elizabeth should have been in here. You guys should have walked in.
Were there any orcs there too?
But
alright.
technically, you guys should have fought those orcs.
Gotcha.
But we're gonna retroactively retcon it so where everybody walks in the front door, the
Okay.
back door,
Back door.
and just bash the works there, and now we're all going through. So
Okay.
nobody went through the front door.
Okay.
All right. So you see large butter churn, work tables, shelves of foodstuffs and ale, and hanging pots and pans. Atop a small table is a skull-shaped wooden butter mold. And you see a group of orcs kind of turn around as you walk in. Surprise and roll for initiative. Alternatively, in the future, we can have one way that I've seen it done is where just one set of dice is rolled for the party, for every party involved in combat.
I see.
So, for example, had Victor gone through the front door, they would have rolled, you guys would have rolled, and each of the orc parties would have rolled individually. We can keep doing what we're doing now, or we can switch over to the one dice for all.
Let's for right now, let's stick with
Yeah,
the
works.
So I've got,
I got 6.
and then 14.
Okay. You guys are startled by the orcs, and they unfortunately managed to react a little bit faster.
How many are we looking at?
Make a perception check.
19 plus
Nat 20.
I know.
4.
There are
So
5 of them.
23. There are 5 of them. Okay.
Because I've just not been rolling well.
Yeah. Okay. So there are 5 of them. Their armor classes are somewhere around here. 17 and
17.
Your what?
something like that. 15, I think.
15 is us.
There's 16.
Armor class is
18 for me.
Okay.
14 plus 1, 15. And I always do the staff of defense.
Mage armor.
Yeah.
All right. So, what was that? 15 and 18. Okay.
What is the
Usually you're floating somewhere up there around 18 or 19.
16.
I start with 12, and then I've got the mage armor.
Which makes it 15, which with the ring of protection makes it 16.
16, okay.
Okay.
Because your shield spell
Yeah.
gains you +5, which brings you up to 21.
Yeah.
So, I'll get this eventually. if you want to go get the chickens while I'm doing this, I won't have to attack you.
Okay.
Okay.
I wanted to make sure I wouldn't go.
Alright. So. Yeah. 5 orcs. Say that Elizabeth takes 10 points of slashing damage. That's her down to 44. Because she used Fighting Spirit previously. There's a different way to average mob attacks that take the average number of attacks necessary to hit you and the average dice roll necessary to hit you, and then gives you a table that gives you, okay, if they need to roll this much on a d20, this is how many creatures are needed to score a hit. So I'm running with that right now because I'm experimenting with it to see if it helps to streamline combat, which so far it does. And in cases where there's like 3 or less, or if the number of creatures will not likely hit, and it's like less than 5, I may switch back to individual attacks. Or if the fight spreads out to a more open area, then I may switch over to individual attacks on individual creatures, 1 or 2 attacks against each creature. But for now, with cramped quarters and multiple orcs and tight battering ram of fighters charging into the room, I'm going to say that one of the lead fighters takes a hit and then goes from there. Just experiment.
Yeah, that's fine.
So Elizabeth's taking 10 points of damage. It's blasted through all the temporary hit points and cutting her actually now. So that brings us to the top of the round. Going to first.
Fighters go first.
Alright. Julia goes first. Victor is going to attack. Hello, Kitty. Hit. So. How many attacks is that next one? 1 attack. Okay, and Robin is going to shoot out around and attack with a short bow or a short sword. It's not a short bow inside, that's stupid. And that's a hit. 6 points of damage. He jumps off and he kind of like does like a wall jump Superman punch kind of an attack. He kind of like runs up onto the stove and launches himself off and just sticks the orc through the neck. And just kind of does that really cool move like in the old guard where he like stabs in, grabs on, just rolls, throwing the orc over top of his body weight, comes up on top with his sword in his neck. Super, super like cool.
Done orc.
Cool move, done orc.
Alright.
So what's happened while he's on?
attacked.
Elizabeth has taken 9 points or 10 points of slashing damage, and then Victor and
Finnan has
Elizabeth
dazzled
have
them.
slashed and hacked up one of them, and then Finnan kind of ran up at the wall, jumped off the stove, and then stabbed and rolled, throwing the orc and landing on top of him with his sword through his neck. That is what just finished happening right here.
So did Did Victor and Elizabeth kill one of the orcs? Or not
No,
yet?
they helped They helped get it down to a rough enough state to fit its sword in its neck. Actually,
Okay.
realistically, I know that's so stupid, but yeah.
Yeah, I know, but
He managed to finish it off. They bashed it down, but they each missed with one of their attacks.
Okay.
So we now have 4 orcs.
Yes, and it is your guys' turn.
Okay. I'm going to hew.
Okay. All right, make an attack.
13 plus 5, 18.
That hits. D8.
D8. Yeah.
What's the pokey? I said it's the pokey.
3 plus 1 is 4.
Oh, okay. What is your strength?
2. Oh, wait, my strength is plus 2.
Okay. So what's the dice roll?
It was 3.
So 3 plus 3 because it's
Oh,
dice roll,
okay.
your strength modifier, and then a plus 1 because it's a magic background.
Oh, okay. All right, so 6.
So 6. Excellent. So you smack the orc across the shoulder blade, and it just goes, ah! It's like spurting blood as you hack through the armor. And Rangir, do you want to stay back and spellcast, or do you want to get stuck in there and attack?
How many of them are there?
4. One of them has been hit with a battle axe across the back. The armor partially turned the blow, but it did not turn any of the orc.
Let's do a level, a first level
Magic missile.
magic missile.
Alright. So 3d4 plus 3. There's one of the d4s in your tray already.
There's 2 of them. So I need 3, right?
Yep.
Got 3.
Alright.
Two, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Ooh, nice.
I get 3.
Oh, okay. I couldn't tell if that was
2, 4, 5,
7.
6, 7,
Okay,
8,
that
9,
works.
10.
Yeah, that works. So 10 points of damage there. Yeah. Orc is definitely hurt
Oh.
by that attack. It's not down, but it's hurt. So that brings us to their turn. And
Finn
going to
go?
attack. Yes.
Oh, that's right,
Did
he did that.
Old guard
Beautiful.
rolling throw boss attack. So, Victor takes 12 points of slashing damage as Orc gets through his guard. Alright. With that, it is back up to the top.
Okay. So is that
That's our turn.
the terrible trio?
Alright. I always give you guys a chance to go before them if you so desire.
At this point, we're still going to get that on a hold.
This was going to go first. And she is going to lunge at the orc, trip over his body, and takes a little saving throw, which she does make. She manages to avoid going prone, but she almost loses her axe. She completely whiffs the attack. She's like not able to hit at all.
Okay.
So she then turns around and attempts to make her second attack, which does hit for 14 points of damage to the orc. And just splits in half.
Good.
So,
Trademark Elizabeth.
yes, for trademark finish.
Yes.
Just hacks him in two.
Yes.
And then Victor is going to attack. 9 points of damage. Second attack. Hit for 9 points of damage. Alright. Venom trying to pick himself up off the ground. And he is going to attack with his short sword. I'll stab him in the heads.
What?
He's going to stab him in the nads. And as he spins around, he sees the orc conveniently standing here behind, like with his back to him, and he just rams him in the nads. And you hear the orc say, "Ah!" And he just drops flat.
I got my
So
pen.
he's in the cleanup
Don't get up
position.
again.
He's in the something position.
No, I meant the two of them.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I thought you were talking about the orc.
I don't know.
No, Venom has cleaned up the orc.
So now we're down to
and
3.
two more left,
And
and you guys are up.
Okay. So do you want to go? or
how
you
far
want me-
away are they from me?
So there is one right here, and one over here.
Try and look around your finger.
Sorry.
Pencil.
One here,
And where am I?
one here. Well, that counts. Where are you? You've come through this doorway. I'm
Yeah, I
assuming you're
stood-
somewhere along there.
I
Yeah.
stood back for the first one. I was trying to decide if I
So Edra was up here. Victor and Leslie are over here. Venom rolled off there, killed the orc here.
So everybody's in my way to get to either of the orcs if I wanted melee.
Where's this fire? Each square is 5 feet. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. You could just barely get to a position of
Okay.
attack with either
Yeah.
one of them using your movements.
Either one of them injured?
Not so far.
I'm going to firebolt.
Okay. Go ahead and roll an attack. D20 and then D10 for damage.
And then D10, which is this one. This one.
That's the one. You got it. Yes. Yes.
Well, that's a 15 plus,
That'll hit.
huh?
That'll hit.
And then 4.
Okay. So you spat out this little burst of fire, and it hits the orc, and he just kind of pats out the charred section of his armor and looks up at you, and you can tell that he's not happy with you. So that brings us.
So I can do two things. I could run and then I'm going to run back out of melee
Okay.
touch distance.
Are you going to use your action to disengage, or are you just going to run?
I disengage means what?
Means you can't take an attack or opportunity against you. If you move out of melee distance now, or won't. Yeah, your path would take you within 5 feet of one of the two orcs, who would get an attack or opportunity as you pass through his ring of influence.
Right.
It's not a sure thing I'll let you.
Right.
she's allowed, but she can still use flambe if she wanted.
I just want to get out of the.
Oh,
I'm gonna try moving and then flipping.
Okay. So as you move, he takes an attack opportunity.
Don't tell me he nat 20s.
Okay, I won't tell you. Take 18 points of slashing damage. And now you are out of range. I assume you want to attempt to Sacred Flame.
I'm going to fall
she
back
could
to
also
separate
use her staff.
step.
Wand of Magic Missiles.
Yes, I could.
That's an automatic hit.
Yes, I could. I'm going to do.
I'm sorry.
No,
No,
that's
you're
fine.
fine. It's perfect. This is good player
Right, exactly.
communication right here. This is good. I like this. Even as a DM who's trying to like, I'm not trying to kill you, but I don't mind hurting you as the DM.
No, that's because it causes us to do other stuff. Yeah.
And
And
like,
the advice was.
and using the wand is all right, and using the Sacred Flame is also all right. They're both perfectly legitimate attacks.
If I use 2 of them, then
That
it's-
brings it up to a level 2, which is 4 plus 4.
Okay, that's what we do.
Grindier has my D4, so I can't really mind those. Yeah, he has all my he has all my D4s and all of my D6s.
I've got 2 of them. You need a third one?
I do.
Oh, that's cool. Hey, percentile dice.
What's that?
I said I have a new percentile dice.
Ooh, that's pretty. Did you guys recently?
No, this came with the Dragon Vice Spread.
Oh.
It's the red that I've been looking at.
Oh, yeah.
You got a 12 percentile, a 2 D20s.
So I have 3, 4, 5, 6,
Cat,
7, 8.
give it a rest.
4 is 12.
Okay.
Is this the one that I hit?
Yes. So he takes 12 points of damage. And he kind of picks himself up off his knees. And you can tell that one hurt. He's definitely kind of favoring the side where you shot him. And he's angry, but it's like he's hurt. That brings us to their round, and I'm just gonna go ahead.
Yeah.
Make it so that they can. I'm just gonna roll theirs. It's a miss. That's a miss. Okay.
Cool. Back to us.
Yes. Terrible trio.
Yep.
Finnan is going to try and stab the wounded one. And miss. Victor is going to try and stab the wounded one. And miss.
Oh, dear.
He's going to try again. And miss.
Oh, goodness.
Elizabeth is going to try and slash the wounded one. And miss.
Oh, my stars.
I think that may just hit. Just barely. Yep.
But the damage is good.
5 points of damage.
Okay.
He's not down.
He's not down.
That was an ignominious round.
That was a very ignominious round. I was like, are we fighters or what? You gonna firebolt this side? Well, actually,
I think he's magic missile.
I'm going to magic missile, and
Yeah.
I'm going to do it as a level 2 of the
Small.
Second level. All right.
and that means I get 4.
I'm gonna stop you right there. He's dead.
Regardless of what I do.
Yep. Just with the number. If you
I was
rolled-
going to
If
actually
you rolled
no,
flat
I,
ones,
I was going to go after the one that wasn't injured. with
or the one
this.
that wasn't injured, never mind. He's not dead. Go ahead.
The reason is that she can finish off one or both. So I need to roll 4, right?
Yes. Yeah, I'm all out. I said, yeah, I'm all out of D4s.
we'll get some more.
No, I mean, you guys have all my
I know,
D4s.
we'll have to go get some more.
Somewhere in the world, there is a dungeon store that sells. It has this chalice that's probably close to that size, maybe a little bit smaller, and it offers a cup of dice for $25. It's just a mixture of random dice in a bin like Whole Foods. And you just scoop out a cup of dice and you pay $25 for it.
Wow. That's cool.
12.
California?
All right. I don't know where it is. It was on a YouTube compilation of TikToks somewhere. Okay. He's been injured, and he's not down, and your phone is lighting up. So, that will bring us to Victor's round.
Alright, I'm going to magic missile first.
Okay, how many
Remember
charges?
what he said? I'm gonna. If he gave us some information that he doesn't take much to take out that first guy.
I know, I was just trying to figure out here.
So how many charges? And which one are you targeting?
I'm targeting the most down guy because I
Okay.
don't want him to have a chance to roll a miss against
A
me.
one would probably first
So
level. would
first level,
probably do it.
so one charge.
One charge.
He's dead.
I just didn't want to have a chance
The
to be
darts of arcane
Yeah.
energy just slam out from the tip of the wand and just smack him in the chest, face, two in the chest, one in the head. He's dead.
I've been using magic missiles a long time.
So then we are to the
One guy left and he
Very
gets to
center.
attack us.
He's going to attack Victor. Nice. That brings us to Finn's turn. That is a hit for 5 points of damage. As he stabs him.
Finn is
The
beginning
only
is getting a
place that
trademark.
Fenn
No, I was gonna say stab him for both butt cheeks, but
Oh,
that
I
was
see.
just the first. Like I'm when he stabs him, and I'm like, and
Is it-
this
is
little
it-
voice man just goes both butt cheeks.
Shishka butt?
Yes, shish kebab. He shish kebabs him 5 points of damage. That is a thing now.
Oh,
I've broken myself.
you've now got one for the road.
Nat stabs and shish kebabs.
Yes, just a Finnan thing.
An affinity.
An affinity.
Alright. That is a miss from Victor.
Oh, come on, Victor, you can do this. I know you can.
That is a hit.
Sweet. Finish him off.
Yes, and he does.
Good.
He
No more orcs.
decapitates
the
him
victor.
from behind. As the orc reacts to getting a short sword through the butt, he falls to his knees, and Victor just chops his head off.
There you go.
So we're done with this part
yes,
of
with this part
it.
of it.
Can we pause for
Absolutely.
it being quarter
Yeah,
to
we gotta
nine?
eat dinner, and I know Joey probably.
All right, so
Well, that's
when we pick up our adventure next time, we will be in the kitchen of Butterskull Ranch with a shish-kebabted orc having been decapitated in front of us, and then we will see where we are going to go next. Until next time, don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications, and we'll catch you on the flip side.